Hello children, how are you all? Hope you are having a good and a quality time with your family during this pandemic lockdown. Children, today I am with you with the chapter number 1 of chemistry, that is matter in our surrounding. This is the very first chapter of chemistry. This chapter deals with the topic like what is the physical nature of matter, what are the characteristics of the particles or and states of the matter. Now, at the end of this chapter, you'll be able to understand all the physical natures of the matter, all the three characteristics of the particle. You will even come to know that there are five states of matter apart from solid, liquid, and gas. Two more states are there. So, we'll proceed with our chapter. Here are the topics or the particular synopsis of the chapter, which includes introduction, definition, physical nature of matter, characteristics of matter, states of matter, change of state of matter due to effect of temperature, change of state of matter due to effect of pressure. Then there will be topic of evaporation, which will be dealing with the difference between evaporation and boiling and factors affecting evaporation. In the last, we will be having numericals, which are conversion numericals, in which you will be converting Fahrenheit into Celsius scale and Celsius into Fahrenheit scale. We are counting this in the last so that after studying whole theory, numerical part will be easy for you. Now today we'll take two topics, that is physical nature of matter and characteristics of particle. Rest of the topic we'll be taking in our another class. Okay, so now we'll proceed. Now if we talk about matter, so basically material is known as matter. And if we talk about the definition of matter, then everything in this universe which occupies space and has mass is known as matter. Occupy space means किसी को जगह लेना और जिसमें वज़न होता है. अगर वो जगह कंज्यूम कर रहा है और उसमें वज़न है तो वो मैटर होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एयर, वाटर, स्टोन, योर मोबाइल फोन्स, योर लैपटॉप्स, योर TV, your fan, your cooler, all these things are matter. Coming to the introductory part of the matter. Now, earlier Indian philosophers were there who have classified matter into five basic elements. These five basic elements are known as Panch Tatva. And you might be familiar, I think so, with these Panch Tatva, that is air, earth, fire, sky and water. According to them, that everything like living or non-living is made up of basically these five elements. Even the Greek philosophers have also arrived with a similar classification and they have accepted this Panch Tattva. If we talk about modern day scientists, they have classified these Panch Tattva on the basis of their physical nature and chemical nature. In this chapter, that is matter in our surroundings, we'll be dealing with physical properties of the matter, and in our coming chapter we will deal with the chemical nature. Now coming to the physical nature of matter. Now before proceeding with it, I must tell you that whole chapter is based on activities. Now few activities have the diagrammatic explanation and few don't have. I'll be explaining you all the activities from our NCERT book, and if you find any doubt or you have any query, you can ask the question in our campus care group. Coming to the first one, that is physical nature of matter. Now for this we have to take a beaker, that is a 100 ml beaker. Now beaker basically it's a vessel which is made up of glass and is transparent. In chemistry we call it a beaker. Then we have a glass rod which is a stick like thing made up of glass. Now what we'll do, we'll take 100 ml beaker and we'll fill it half with water and we will mark the level of the water. Next we will dissolve some amount of salt, maybe 2 tablespoons of salt, and we'll stir it. After diluting both the things together, when we look at the water and when we'll check the mark, we will see that the mark remains the same. This is because matter is made up of particles, and particles of water is having space in between it, in which the particles of salt got mixed. Next, we will talk about how small are these particles. Now, the particles of matter are very, very small. In fact, they are that much small that we cannot even imagine. So, to explain this activity, we'll be taking potassium permanganate in a crystal form. Potassium permanganate is a chemical which is pink in color, and it is having small crystal-like structure. Now what we are doing, we will be taking 5 beakers of 100 ml. In the first beaker we will fill 100 ml water, and in the rest of the 4 beakers we will fill 90 ml water. The first beaker, which is having 100 ml of water, will add 2 to 3 crystals of potassium permanganate, and we will dissolve the solution properly. Then from the first beaker we will take 10 ml of water and we will fill it in the next beaker. Now what will happen? The one which was having 90 ml water, we are adding 10 ml water in it, then its dilution will be 100 ml. Similarly, from that next beaker we'll take 10 ml and we'll add it to 90 ml beaker, and so on we will keep on adding till our last beaker get 100 ml of water. After completing all the dilution, we'll see that the millions of particles are present in the color which divide themselves on dilution. That means from first beaker till the last beaker, the pink color of the water might get light, but still till the last beaker that pink color will remain. This shows that particles of matter are very, very small, and in fact the smell, if we talk about using Dettol or any perfume instead of potassium permanganate, we can even detect the smell by repeated dilution pattern. This proves that particles of matter are very, very small and they can pass on through one process to another. Next, coming to characteristics of particles of matter. Now, particles of matter have 3 characteristic properties. The first one is particle of matter have space between them. Second, particles of matter are moving all the time or they are continuously moving. Third, particles of matter attract each other. If we talk about the first characteristic property, that is particles of matter have space between them, so the above 2 activities which right now I explained you, that is the first one in which we have dissolved salt and water, and the second one in which we have dissolved potassium permanganate crystals and water, through them we can conclude that particles of matter have space between them. If we talk about another thing, then we can say that tea, coffee, lemonade, rasna, or right now you must be making milkshakes, must be making mango shake, rasna, juices, all these things shows us that particles of matter have space between them, then only these things are able to be formed. Next is the particles of matter are continuously moving. Now to show this thing, we can take the example of incense stick, that is agarbatti. What we have to do, we have to put one unlight, that means bina jale hui agarbatti in the corner of our home or class, wherever we want to put, and we have to go near it and then we have to smell. Now what we'll do, we'll light it up. As soon as we will light up, after some time, we'll notice that wherever we have kept this lighted incense stick, the fragrance or the smell is coming to a distant place. This shows us that particles of matter are continuously moving. Second activity we can take is that what we have to do, we have to take 2 beakers, A and B. In both of them we have to fill 100 ml of water. In first beaker we have to add either any color of the ink, red or blue. If we do not have ink, we can use even turmeric. In the second beaker we have to add honey. Now what we have to do while adding both the things, we have to drop these things through the wall of the beaker so that the particular thing should touch the wall of the beaker. Leave this thing undisturbed in the corner of the class or house. After that you have to record the observation. Now as soon as you start adding ink drop or turmeric powder, what you will observe that it starts getting mixing in the water. And when you start adding honey, it take little time, but it also start mixing. Now sorry, you have to observe how many hours or days does it take to change the color of the ink or the honey to get spread evenly in the water. You'll see that within few minutes ink will get distributed, and in some time honey will also get mixed in the water. This is because kinetic energy helps them to get mixed enough. Next, we'll take the example of another activity. These two were the example. One was with the air, that particles of matter move in the air, then particles of matter move in the water. Now third example will be taking of the different water like hot water and cold water. In this, what you have to do, again you have to take two beakers, you have to fill them with water. In first beaker you have to fill hot water and another one you have to fill cold water. Now hot water means it should be little hot. It should see that it is hot, and second one should be colder one. In both of them you have to put either the crystals of copper sulfate solution or potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate crystals are pink in color and copper sulfate crystals are blue in color. Whichever you will put, the solution will get the color of that particular crystal. Now what you have to do, you have to add the crystals and leave it undisturbed. As particles of matter are continuously moving, in hot water crystals will mix faster comparatively to colder water, because higher the temperature, higher will be the kinetic energy. Next, we'll talk about, from these three activities we can conclude that particles of matter are continuously moving with as they are having kinetic energy, and as we rise the temperature particles move faster. So kinetic energy plays a major and a vital role. Next, particles of matter attract each other. This is the third characteristic property. Now in this, what you have to do, basically you have to make 4 groups, and then these 3 groups will be forming human chain in such a way like group A will hold each other from back and lock their arms the way which is shown in the figure 1.3. Second group will hold hands to form a human chain, and third will touch each other only with their fingertip. Now the fourth group, you will ask them to hold each other and run and break the human chain. As they will start running and breaking the human chain, you will observe that group A, where all the people or the group member are holding from back and locking their arms like a bihu dancer, it was difficult to break. But the group C, which were only touching the fingers, it was easy to break the group. So we can say that particles of matter attract each other in such a way that it becomes hard to break them. To show this, we can take one more example, like we have to take iron nail, piece of chalk and a rubber band. Next, we have to hammer iron nail and then we have to observe. Similarly, we have to cut the piece of chalk and we have to observe. And third, we have to stretch the rubber band and we have to observe it. In the above 3, while performing these activities, you will come to know that all these particles are held together with a great force of attraction, which does not allow them to be hammered or to be cut or to be stretched after a certain limit. Then we are taking the last one more activity, as we are dealing with the chemistry, so we'll be taking another activity. Now what we have to do, we have to open a water tap and we have to try to break the stream with the water and the finger. This we might have done since our childhood time. We are habitual of doing these things कि पानी का tap को ऑन करा और पानी को अपनी फिंगर से कट करने की कोशिश करी। नाउ जो पानी है जब हम कट करते हैं वो स्टिल एक साथ रहता है। ऐसा इसलिए क्यों होता है? दिस इज़ बिकॉज द फोर्स keep them together. That force is known as force of attraction of matter, which keep the stream of water remaining together and to flow continuously. This was the chapter first two topic which I have explained you. I know you might be having doubts. I know some might not have read the chapter, but I would suggest you read the chapter from NCERT. Go through this slide. If you find any doubt, any query, please feel free to talk to us because we are there for you. And if we are teaching you, that means these chapter and these topics are very important. So go through the topics, go through the PDF file and everything, and let me know. Till then, till I come and join you for the next class, take care of yourself and stay home and stay safe. Bye bye.